Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and heartbreaking films ever made. Based on a true story, this movie portrays the shocking journey of Solomon Northup, a free African-American man who was kidnapped and sold into slavery in the 19th century. Let's break down the story step by step. The film begins in 1841 in Saratoga Springs, New York. Solomon Northup, played brilliantly by Chiwetel Ejiofor, is a free African-American man living with his wife and 2 children. He is a talented violinist, respected in his community, and enjoying the privileges of freedom. But everything changes when 2 white men, Brown and Hamilton, approach Solomon with an offer. They promise him short-term employment as a musician in Washington, D.C. Trusting their words, Solomon agrees. However, once in Washington, he is betrayed. They drug him, strip him of his identity, and deliver him to James H. Birch, the cruel owner of a slave pen. When Solomon insists that he is a free man, he is brutally beaten and tortured into silence. Overnight, his entire life collapses, and he is forced into bondage. Solomon is shipped to New Orleans along with other kidnapped individuals. Fellow captives warn him that survival depends on adapting. The notorious slave trader Theophilus Freeman strips away Solomon's identity, renaming him Platt, a runaway slave from Georgia. Solomon is then sold to William Ford, a relatively kinder plantation owner. Ford sees Solomon's intelligence and skills, even gifting him a violin. For a moment, it seems Solomon may survive under Ford's care, but tensions rise with John Tibeats, a cruel carpenter who constantly belittles Solomon. When Solomon finally defends himself and beats Tibeats with his own whip, the situation turns deadly. Tibeats and his men attempt to lynch Solomon, leaving him hanging with a noose around his neck for hours. He is only saved when Ford intervenes. Though Solomon confesses his true identity to Ford, Ford admits he cannot protect him due to financial debts. Against his will, Solomon is sold to the vicious Edwin Epps. Epps embodies the cruelty of slavery. He forces his slaves to pick cotton under unbearable conditions and inflicts sadistic punishments. Among the enslaved is Patsey, a young woman who is both the best cotton picker and the frequent victim of Epps's abuse, while his jealous wife subjects her to further torment. At one point, when crop failures strike, Epps leases his slaves to Judge Turner. Turner allows Solomon to play the violin at celebrations, even letting him keep his earnings. This gives Solomon a glimpse of hope, and he secretly hires a white man named Armsby to deliver a letter to his family, but Armsby betrays him, reporting the attempt to Epps. When confronted, Solomon cleverly convinces Epps that Armsby is lying, and to protect himself, he burns the letter. The most heartbreaking moment comes when Patsey is caught trying to get soap from a neighboring plantation. Enraged, Epps orders Solomon to whip her. Despite his reluctance, Solomon is forced to comply, only for Epps to take over and beat Patsey savagely. The horrific incident leaves Solomon devastated, and he destroys his violin, the last symbol of his old life. Everything changes when Solomon meets Samuel Bass, a Canadian laborer hired to build a gazebo. Unlike others, Bass openly condemns slavery, citing his Christian beliefs. Desperate, Solomon reveals his kidnapping story and begs Bass to send a letter to his family. Though hesitant, Bass agrees, risking his own safety. Soon after, the local sheriff arrives with Solomon's friend Mr. Parker, a shopkeeper from New York. After 12 years of bondage, Solomon's nightmare finally ends. Epps furiously protests, but he has no power to stop Solomon's release. In an emotional reunion, Solomon returns to his family. His daughter, now grown and married, introduces him to his grandson named after him. Overcome with guilt for his absence, Solomon apologizes, but his family embraces him with love. The film ends with an epilogue. Solomon's memoir, 12 Years a Slave, was published in 1853, becoming a powerful voice for abolition. He pursued lawsuits against his kidnappers, though none were successful. His exact fate and place of death remain unknown. 12 Years a Slave is not just a movie. It is a haunting reminder of America's dark past and a testament to resilience, courage, and the fight for freedom. Directed by Steve McQueen, it's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie explanations.